If this plays out the way it's being said, this becomes a defining moment. Either it stalls everything permanently, or he uses that time to reset mentally and come back with a different approach. But the reality is simple. The streets don't pause for you, and neither does the industry.
So I am definitely going to prison.
Okay.
Yeah, I turned myself in May 28th. They give me 4 years, 8 months. I'll probably do a little less too.
You're gonna do good behavior. You're gonna do a bunch of classes.
I'm about to go in there and do everything, bro.
Okay, I feel
I'm about
that.
to do everything but snitch. I'm not gonna do no more. Max, I'll probably do like 2 years, 4 months.
Okay.
Max, I'll probably do 2 years, 4 months. But how I want to do, you feel me? I'm gonna try to wiggle up in fire camping, and if you can, they do 33%. So I'll do a third. So that's like a year and like 5 months, a year and 4 months, some shit like that, you know.
That's smart.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to do whatever, you feel me? And I got a non-violent felony, so I'm automatically gonna be on the low ass yard. You feel me? Like I a non-violent felony. I'm not no documented gang member, so I'm automatically. So with niggas with all this 50-50 talk, anything under a 3 yard is 50-50. So I'm not going to a 3 yard because I don't have a violent crime.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't give a. I don't gang bang. I don't prescribe to you politics at all. I don't give a. I will gladly, if 50-50 mean bring your 50 ass home early, I'll be doing it. I don't give a, bro. I don't gang bang, and all of them, all that 50, that's all gang bang politics. That's really Mexican politics. And past that, that's gang bang. Man, I don't give a. I'm not from nowhere. I'm my mama. I will be taking my light skin ass to fire camp, and I will be doing my 33%. I don't give a what any got to say. I quite frankly, I don't give a. I'm not sitting my black ass on no extra time to appease no. I don't give a at all. And if you got something to say about me, then you guys better have something to say about Jap. You guys better have something to say about Crip Mac. You guys better have something to say. Rest in peace, my baby JM from Main Street. I know plenty of real lokes that did fire camp. Plenty.
This situation is a perfect example of someone being given a real opportunity and not recognizing it for what it is. Instead of maximizing the moment, poor decisions end up overshadowing the opportunity itself. That's the part people keep missing. Opportunity doesn't protect you from consequences. If anything, it raises the stakes. When you make the wrong moves, it has a way of coming back around and hitting even harder. At the same time, I understand the environment he's in. Being on a platform like No Jumper can naturally create enemies. Whether it's opinions, perceived money, or just people looking for a come-up, that kind of exposure brings attention, both good and bad. Some of those fans aren't really fans, and they'll take advantage of any situation if it benefits them. But this is where the lesson comes in. If you feel like you constantly have to move with a weapon just to feel safe, that's not really control. That's a sign something in your positioning is off. Protection is important, but relying on a gun, especially in California, is a high-risk decision that can cost you your freedom and everything you've built. People might say the solution is to leave California, but it's not that simple when your main source of income is tied to that same environment. So the real move isn't just relocating, it's learning how to separate your income from your location. Building your own platform, creating consistent content, and establishing streams of revenue that don't depend on being in one place gives you options. Once you have options, you can move smarter. As for the 50-50 yard, not caring about politics doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. In those environments, everything is structured whether you acknowledge it or not. Thinking it doesn't impact you can actually put you at a disadvantage because you're not fully aware of how things move around you. At the end of the day, anybody would want to come home as fast as possible and get back to making money, enjoying life, and creating content. That part is real, but the bigger lesson is this. Coming home only matters if you come back with a different mindset. Otherwise, it's easy to fall back into the same patterns that caused the setback in the first place. This situation really comes down to understanding risk, valuing freedom, and moving with intention. Opportunity is only powerful if you protect it. When you really break this situation down, it's not just about one mistake. It's about how someone handles opportunity when pressure comes with it. Almighty Suspect was in a position that a lot of people would never get access to. A platform visibility, connections, and a direct line to income. But the reality is, opportunity doesn't cancel out consequences. In fact, the bigger the opportunity, the less room there is for error. Now, I understand the environment he's operating in. Being tied to a platform like NoJumper puts you in a spotlight where opinions carry weight. You're speaking on people, situations, and street-related topics. And whether it's intentional or not, that can create tension. On top of that, when people perceive you as someone making money or having motion, you automatically become a target. Not just from enemies, but from fake supporters looking for an angle. That's the part people overlook. Not everybody watching you wants to see you win, but this is where the accountability has to come in. If you feel like you need to carry a weapon just to navigate your day-to-day life, that's not really control. That's a sign that something in your positioning is off. Because now you're putting yourself in a situation where one decision can take everything away. And that's exactly what happened. In California especially, gun charges are not something you can casually recover from. They come with real consequences that can stop your momentum completely. So what's the actual solution? First, it starts with understanding that protection and positioning are two different things. Anybody can react to danger, but not everybody knows how to avoid it altogether. The goal should be to move in a way where you don't constantly have to react. That means tightening your circle, limiting unnecessary interactions, and being more intentional about where you go and how you move. Not everything needs a response, and not every situation needs your presence. Second, instead of thinking the answer is to just leave California, the smarter move is to build a situation where you're not tied down to one place. Right now, if your income depends on being physically present in a certain environment, you're stuck dealing with whatever comes with that environment. But if you take the time to build your own platform, whether it's YouTube, streaming, content, or business, you start creating income that moves with you. That's how you create real freedom. Then, relocating becomes a choice, not a forced move. Third, you have to shift the mindset from short-term survival to long-term strategy. Moving with a gun might feel like you're protecting yourself in the moment, but long-term, it's one of the fastest ways to lose everything. Real protection is structure, security, controlled environments, smart scheduling, and reducing access to yourself. The more value you have, the more you have to move like it. And even when it comes to being on a 50-50 yard, not caring about politics doesn't mean you're unaffected by them. Those systems exist, whether you participate or not. So the lesson there isn't toughness, it's awareness. You have to understand every environment you step into, especially when your freedom is already on the line.